All right, we're back. Welcome to Prize Picks on 5 here on the 5 Reasons YouTube channel. I'm Ethan Skolnick, and follow me, Ethan J. Skolnick, on 5 Reasons Sports. Above me, I got David Eversole. Follow him at David W. Eversole. And below, David Freeman. You can follow him at Taco Bout Sports. The most important thing that you learn here today is use the code 5, F-I-V-E. That's why it's called Prize Picks on 5. And you will get your initial deposit match. This is the official fantasy partner of the 5 Reasons Sports Network. You put down $100, they will give you $100, and you don't need to play it all at once. You don't have to just play NBA either. They've got this, even now, it feels like there's nothing going on other than NBA and NHL, but they've still somehow got 8 different sports on there and all kinds of different things that you can play. So definitely check that out. You can go power play, flex play, depending on how much you want to risk at a time. You play 2, 3, 4, 5 players together. We are going to focus primarily tonight on the Heat and the Bucks. Big game up in Milwaukee. He'd have a big week. They get 3 games in 4 nights, and they're facing 3 former MVPs because Kevin Durant's going to play on Thursday, and they get a possible MVP from this season on Saturday in Joel Embiid. But let's focus on Miami and Milwaukee. Let's start with you, Mr. Eversole. What are you playing?
Well, I'm looking at this as a PJ Tucker type game in the first of a back-to-back, obviously, at his former home there in Milwaukee. I think he snaps out of his little slump. His shooting's down in February. He's shooting 45% from 3 overall, but he's only shooting about 35% this month. So I think he picks it up a little bit tonight. I'm taking him over 7.5 points.
And that has been a good play for the most part of late. But like you said, he's struggling. I mean, to say PJ's struggling with a shot, he's shooting 35% lately. I think the Heat would have taken that before the season. It's just that he was outrageous at the beginning of the year. Friedman, what are you playing?
I'm going Giannis under, I think it's 28.5 points. Look, between Bam, and we know like they can shut him down. He's gone off certain games, but they tend to shut him down. Plus PJ Tucker, right? So for me, I feel like they can keep him under 28.5. I know he's been like 30 or close to it for a while now, but like the same thing they did with DeRozan the other night. I think they focus on him and kind of make the others beat them tonight.
Yeah, and I think the fact that they're playing the Heat is probably why, even though he's gone, as you can see there, 4 out of his last 5 over, probably why they have him under. With that logic, I'm going to go over on Chris Middleton, 18.5. Historically, he's been a high volume player against the Heat. That goes back to even before the Bucks were a contender. He's going to get up a lot of shots, I think, tonight. Their focus defensively tends to be on Giannis. You see, they've gone over that 4 of the last 5. Even when he's not particularly efficient against Miami, he takes a lot of shots. So I'm going to go over 18.5 points. And I've got a couple of others here, and then I'll pivot back to you guys. I like a couple of overs for the Heat. I like Gabe Vincent over 10.5. Of course, he did get 18 and he got 20 the other night. He had it by halfway through the third quarter. I still think without Kyle Lowry there, that and the way that they kind of play Jimmy, which is they make things difficult on Jimmy at times, I feel like Gabe is going to be relied upon for his shooting, and so will Duncan Robinson. I really like the Duncan Robinson over 2.5 threes tonight. He looked like he got a little bit of rhythm in the last game. We know he's better on the road, and we know that the Bucks give up a lot of threes. I think the philosophy tonight with Duncan is try to get 7 or 8 shots up tonight. I think he makes 3 of them, and so I'm going to go over 2.5. You can see he's kind of all over the place, but I like that. Friedman, anything else before we finish with David?
Real quick, like I like the like kind of what I was saying on the flip side. I think Giannis and his defense kind of pushes them to the perimeter tonight. So I kind of like where you're going with that. The other pick I had was Grayson Allen, and it's kind of like the same thing that you do with Chris Middleton. And I said they're going to have to allow the other guys to beat them tonight. I think Grayson Allen was at 8.5. Yeah, I think it's like a random scrub heat killer kind of night, right? So that's my pick for tonight, the RSHK.
As long as he doesn't get ejected. Eversole, what do you see?
Yeah, with some of that same logic, I like Tyler actually over 2.5 points. I think against the second unit, he could obviously go off a little bit as well against Milwaukee. On the Milwaukee side, if I was going to pair it up, I'm going to take Bobby Portis over 8.5 rebounds. He averages 11.5 against the Heat. I think he'll probably get there. And I had one for the NBA overall. I really like, outside of this game, Halliburton over 16.5 points tonight. He averages 20.5 versus Orlando, and he's over that in 6 of 7. So that was my pick outside of this game tonight.
Yeah, he has flourished since the trade. I don't think that's particularly surprising. I think he's one of those that you better play him now. I feel like PrizePicks is going to catch up on that one. All right, so go to prizepicks.com, use the code 5. Of course, you bet Tyler here over 2.5 threes.
Right, 2.5 threes.
Over 2.5 threes. So you and I both like the Heat to have a good shooting game tonight. I'll say this. If they don't, I mean, we basically picked Vincent, Duncan, and Tyler. If they don't have a big shooting game, they're probably losing tonight. So that if you're rooting for the Heat tonight, you should probably root for our picks. Go to PrizePicks.com. Use the code 5FIVE. Get your initial deposit matched. If you guys have any suggestions, you can tweet them out at us as well. We want to get a little bit of a chain going there too. And of course, we'll have more programming here on the channel tonight before floor and post up 5R on the Heat. Have a good night, everybody.